It looks like the game is flipped inside Sauber, and fast. After the Belgian Grand Prix, it became hard to ignore what Gabriel Bortoleto did at Spa. And it's not just me saying it. European outlets, German and Italian journalists are highlighting the Brazilian as a possible lead driver for the Swiss team. Yes, lead driver, that's right. What was seen as a learning season is now taking a completely different direction. The combination of solid pace, smart on-track decisions, and a direct position swap with Nico Hülkenberg made a lot of people sit up inside the team as well. In this video, we'll unpack what happened at Spa, why Bortoletto's stock is high, and how that could affect his future both at Sauber and in Audi's 2026 project. All of it is based on international sources, behind-the-scenes reporting, and statements from those involved. So drop a like because today's analysis is sharp, and subscribe if you truly follow F1 and want to see Brazilian drivers grow on the world stage. Settle in, there's a lot of heavyweight information coming. The Belgian Grand Prix may have started on a wet track, but the one who really heated things up was Gabriel Bortoleto. His performance drew so much attention that international outlets openly discussed the possibility of the Brazilian taking the lead driver role at Sauber, and some are already saying he could also spearhead Audi's future when it takes control of the team next year. The turning point came from a mix of factors. First, consistency, even on a weekend full of variables. Bortoletto showed composure and technique in every session. Second, internal trust. He asked for and got a position swap with Nico Hülkenberg during the race. That alone would be significant, but what really matters is that he delivered. He made the overtake, kept up the pace, and scored important points. All of this, of course, with a car set up for a dry track that still worked well on the wet laps. Meanwhile, Hülkenberg, who started with a wet-biased setup, suffered tire wear, lack of pace, and an extra stop that took him out of the points. That's where the contrast began. One driver rising, the veteran struggling. Anyone who follows F1 knows the difference between two drivers in the same car goes far beyond talent. Sometimes it starts in the garage when you choose the ideal setup. That's exactly what happened at Spa. Sauber took different paths with its two drivers. Bortoletto ran a dry setup while Hülkenberg bet on the rain lasting longer. The rain stopped earlier than expected and the tables turned. Bortoletto's car proved more balanced, more consistent, and above all, less aggressive on tires. Hülkenberg, on the other hand, faced front-end wear, lockups, and understeer. The result? He had to pit once more, lost rhythm, and fell out of the points. Meanwhile, the Brazilian not only maintained strong pace, he also saved his tires, something that caught the entire team's attention. Even when he received the order to swap positions, Bortoletto had already been signaling that he was faster. And he proved it on track, building a gap and controlling ninth place to the end. That kind of solid performance raised a question now echoing behind the scenes. Has Bortoletto effectively become Sauber's most reliable driver? Among the many on-track battles, one moment in particular caught the eye of those who truly understand F1's internal game. The moment Sauber authorized Bortoletto to pass Hülkenberg. The move itself was clean and controversy-free, but what it meant carried much more weight. When a rookie in his first year gets the green light over the radio to pass a teammate with years of experience, something has changed. That's not common, and it's never for nothing. Most importantly, Bortoletto didn't ask just to ask. He justified it by saying he was faster, on Lawson's tail, and had the pace to score points. Sauber understood the logic, gave the go-ahead, and the Brazilian delivered. Hülkenberg even said after the race that he understood the decision and that his teammate's pace was better. But the tone made it clear there was some discomfort. No one likes being beaten internally. And when that kind of situation repeats with results, it's natural for the team to start looking at things differently. Bortoletto is gaining ground and, more than that, earning respect where he needs it most, inside the team. If what happened at Spa had already drawn attention within Sauber, what came next only reinforced the size of Bortoletto's performance. Several international outlets, especially in Germany and Italy, highlighted the Brazilian's weekend in clear terms. The tone wasn't hype, but recognition. One even called the moment Bortoletto passed Hülkenberg a genuine blow, not in a negative sense, but as a milestone inside the team. According to that publication, that was when the change of posture within Sauber was cemented. Italy's Moto Online noted that Bortoletto secured important points and described his weekend as high level, consistent from sprint qualifying through the main race. The outlet also said Hülkenberg's performance dropped after the tire change and that Bortoletto's setup had been the better call from the start. This shift in European media carries serious weight. These are outlets with solid coverage that don't tend to exaggerate. After the Belgian Grand Prix, the feeling inside and outside the paddock is clear. Gabriel Bortoletto is no longer just a rookie trying to adapt. He's become a technical reference within Sauber. What used to be the team's caution in protecting a newcomer is turning into confidence. And that changes everything. It's no coincidence that important figures like Mattia Binotto and the current boss Alessandro Ellenbrave have said in recent interviews that Sauber's lead driver will be the one who delivers the most results. If that criterion holds, Bortoletto is already building his advantage. He didn't just score more at Spa, he also showed race vision, strategic reading, and above all, consistency, something that weighs heavily in a team in transition. Audi, which takes over operations in 2026, is watching too. The plan is to build a competitive team on the base Sauber is already developing, and having a young, quick driver rising internally makes that process much easier. If Bortoletto maintains this level over the next races, it's very likely he'll start being treated as the team's future, not only for 2025, but for the larger project to come. The Belgian Grand Prix may have been the turning point, and the story is only just beginning. What do you think? Has Bortoletto already earned lead driver status at Sauber, or is it too soon to call? Make your case below. Did Spa, double points, and the team-authorized pass on Hülkenberg, plus the recent points streak, tip the scales? Or do we need to see Q3 consistency and a headline result in Budapest first? I'll pin the best arguments and revisit after Hungary.